Let's try Elvis's ugly steak, also known as chicken fried steak. This recipe is courtesy of Pauline Nicholson. Pauline was Elvis's nighttime cook at Graceland, so she was pretty busy given his reverse schedule. Apparently, he had requested that she work at Graceland 7 days a week when he was home. Pauline says Elvis called chicken fried steak ugly steak because when you fry it this way, it gets all bubbly and looks ugly. When asked what dish Elvis requested the most, Pauline immediately responded with top sirloin, meaning chicken fried steak. So with the ugly steak, the side dishes I'm going to make will be mashed potatoes and green beans the way Elvis liked them, according to Pauline. First thing I'm going to do is start on the potatoes because they take the longest. So the yield or servings for this recipe was, quote, enough for Elvis. So just for him. Guys, I don't know if there was a misprint with the recipe because it called for 5 pounds of white potatoes, not 5 potatoes. 5 pounds of potatoes for just Elvis. I'm not making all that. I am going to be preparing 6 white potatoes. I scrubbed them clean and then it says to peel the skins off. This seems odd to me because unlike russet potatoes, white potatoes have very thin skin, so I usually leave them on. But maybe it's a texture thing with Elvis, so I peeled them. I ended up deep frying the skins and sprinkled them with seasoning salt and they were so good. Anyway, place the potatoes in a pot, add cold water to cover, and cook for 30 minutes or until they're very tender. Meanwhile, I've washed the green beans and now I'm going to trim the tough ends. So I like my green beans with a bit of a bite to them. I don't like them overcooked. Pauline said Elvis liked his soft, so she would cook the fresh green beans for 2 hours. That's right. 2 hours. Next is the onion. For the recipe, it calls for 2 onions quartered. Since I'm not making the full portions of the recipe, I'm only going to use this much. Then melt the butter in the pan and add the onion and 2 cups of boiling water. That's 2 cups if you're making the full portion size. I'm only using about a cup of water. Cook for 4 minutes or until tender. I ended up putting a lid on the pan so the onions could become tender faster. Then remove the onions and add the green beans along with 1 cup of boiling water. So the recipe says to simmer for 10 minutes, or if you want it the exact same way Elvis liked it, Elvis style as Pauline calls it, cook it for 2 hours. I can't bring myself to simmer fresh green beans for 2 hours, so I ended up simmering them for about 15 minutes. That's the longest I could take it. The potatoes are done. They are nice and tender. I can easily pierce them with a fork. Drain the potatoes and place them back in the pot and mash it with the potato masher. I put the butter in first so that it melts faster with the hot potatoes, but the recipe calls to add it after you mash it. Then add pepper. Now for the steaks. I peeled a single garlic clove and cut it in half. The recipe says to rub each half on a steak. So I try and follow these recipes exactly as it calls for, but when I went to the store there was no top sirloin, so I ended up buying these tenderized steaks. And honestly, I don't know that I would have been up to tenderizing the steak myself with a meat mallet. After the garlic rub, add the salt, pepper, onion powder. I did this on both sides, then dredge the steak in flour on both sides and shake off any excess. The recipe calls for mazola oil, which I'm pretty sure is vegetable oil, which is what I'm using. Heat it to 350 degrees and then place the steak in once the oil is hot. The recipe says to brown it on both sides. Pauline said, quote, he liked all meats well done, end quote. So fry until well done. I personally do not like well done steaks. I prefer mine medium rare, but trust the process. Once the steak is done, place on top of a paper towel on a plate to drain. All right, here is the finished product all plated up. Let's try it. Okay, we have our guest taste tester again today, my husband. So what do you want to start on first?
You want me to just do, well, I'll start on the main course. What is it?
Chicken fried steak, or ugly steak.
That is a little tough.
Uh-oh.
That's probably not a bad thing. That's like a hamburger. All right, let's do that. Here we go.
Nice and tender.
A little dry. Plus on the outsides over here, it's a little more burnt on the edge, and I got an edge. But even if it wasn't the edge, it was dry.
Yeah, Elvis liked everything well done, like
Let's
burnt.
add some of this to it. Potatoes are not dry. That's good.
You're probably gonna need salt for the green beans.
Let's try it without.
Yeah. Because Elvis would always salt it after. Bland?
I'm fine with that. Yeah, but it's good. Good, I got salt on there too. Elvis style. Does make it better.
Okay.
So,
What about the flavor of the steak?
not good.
Not good. Okay. So, what would you rate this out of 10?
Everything together or separate?
Separate.
2,
2 stars for the steak.
9, and 8. So that's 19 out of 30.
All right. Thanks for trying. All right, let's see what I got myself into. Let's try the chicken fried steak first, the ugly steak. This is really tough. So here it is. Be chewing for a while. The steak is much tougher than I prefer. I prefer my steak medium rare. The flavor's good. I like it. Potatoes next. The salt definitely helps. The extra salt I added. And the butter too. You can taste it. Let's try the green bean. I didn't salt this yet, so. It is bland. It needs salt. Now I know why Elvis salted his food after he got it. Like, you can't even taste the butter, but I think it's because it's so watered down with when we added the water in the pan. Let's try it with salt. Salt makes everything taste better. It's better. It's still bland. Let me know if you try this at home.